Okay, so there are four divisions, okay? Just like statements in JCL, we have four divisions in Cobol.
Okay, sir.
Identification division, program, sorry, environment division, data division, and procedure division. Okay, identification, environment, data division, procedure division. You all know that. So identification division is used to identify the program. Okay, identify the program. So now identifying as in who wrote the program, what is the name of the program, on which date was written, for whom it is being written, all these parameters. And this is a mandatory parameter. Okay, this division will always be the first line of the COBOL program. It is mandatory. Then environment division is used to tell us or to tell the system which machine is getting used for the compilation and execution. Machine as in which. So when you execute or compile any program, it gets compiled in the mainframe server, right? What is the model of the server? Machine name that we generally put in environment division. And also if you are using any file in your program, that file has to be defined in environment division. The file has to be defined in environment division, but it is not mandatory. The machine writing details out machine name and is not mandatory. And also if you are not using any file in the program, it is not, environment division is not mandatory. Data division is used for three purposes. One is when you use any variable in the program. One is when you receive receive some data from another program or a JCL via palm parameter. It has to be accepted in the subprogram or the program when you receive the data from JCL, or when you are using any file in your program, that file's data structure has to be defined under data division. So that time it is used, otherwise it is not mandatory. Procedure division is mandatory when you have to write the business logics. Okay, because under procedure division you have to write the logics. Any statement that you write, that has to be written under procedure division. And also the file program closing statement, everything will be written here. So it is also mandatory. Now identification and procedure divisions are mandatory. Now identification division has generally five things: program ID, then author, date written, compile, installation. Now what is program ID? Program ID means who has written this program. Written this program. If it is a new program, if it has been, it has to be, these parameters only have to be written when you are writing a new program from scratch. When you're writing a program, you have to write who wrote this program or who's writing this program. So if it is Saurabh, you write Saurabh. Then, sorry, it is author, Saurabh. Author is who is writing the program. And program ID, what is the name of the program? Okay, if the name of the program is suppose sample PGM something, that program name you have to write here. Who wrote, on which date is written. Suppose if you start writing it today, if it's a big program, it is not possible to complete within one day. But since you have started writing today, you can write today's name here, today's date here, 2025. Then date compile. As we know, after writing the Cobol programs, we need to compile the program. Compiling the program means to convert the source code into its equivalent object code, okay, executable format. That process is called compilation. On which day was it compiled? So what we generally do is if I start writing a program today, after writing, suppose the program is big, but I have written 50% of the program today. So after writing, I will compile the program. So I don't want to check the logical things like whether the program, obviously the program will not run logically since it is not complete. But I will do the compilation today only to find out till now if there is any syntax error or anything. So I will compile it, then I'll find okay, there are so many errors, I'll fix them. And till that point, I will fix all the syntax errors. Tomorrow I will complete the program, then again compile, then I will fix the remaining syntax errors. Then only I will execute. So compilation, it is not like you write the full program 100% correct, then only compile. So you will not know whether the program is 100% correct or not syntactically unless and until you compile. So compilation is generally done then only once you start writing the program. After writing few hundred lines, you can just compile it to check. So date compiled, on which day you first compiled, that day you can write. Installation is for which client are you writing this program. So if it is for Bank of America, if it is for ANZ, you can write like this. And these things, these names, you don't need to write from your side. You can just copy. Or sometimes we write our application name also here. Okay. So you can just copy from existing program. We don't need to write like this. If you have to write a program from scratch, what we generally do is take any sample program, create a new empty member, paste it there, and change wherever necessary. Program ID, change the name, author change, date, written date, compile installation. Installation will be same. Then check in environment division whatever is written, whether you need them or not. If you don't need, delete. Data division whatever you need, keep, rest delete. Procedure division whatever you need, rest delete. Like this, we write the program and whatever new has to be added, you write them. So we don't just create an empty line, empty member and write everything like identification, division, programming. We don't do that. Okay. Now, identification division is mandatory. Similarly, program ID is also mandatory. Program ID is also mandatory. But author, date written, date compile, installation, these four are not mandatory. If you don't write them also, it is fine. But in real time, you will see each and every COBOL program will have all these informations because it is good to have all these informations in a program so that in future it is easier to find out who wrote the program on which date was it. So sometimes we need these references. If a program is not running properly, we check on which date was written, then we add some tags below. Okay. So first time the program is written, who wrote, what was the program for. The next time if anyone has changed anything in the program, what did he change based on which ticket, which Jira item number, the who changed, on which day he changed, and what is the description we write. Again, after 2 years, if someone has changed something in the program, he has to write the tag number, Jira tag number, then his name, the date, and the description about what he has changed. With this tag name, we can find out, we can do a F tag name in the program, and the lines that he has changed, we can easily find out. So on the left hand side of each line that he has either added or commented out, we can find out what changes he has done. So these are very, very important things to add tags and to have proper description. Sometimes a program after delivering to production may run successfully for 6 months. After 6 months, it will start giving some errors because till that 6 months, it was getting those kind of data from the client which was successfully processed by your program. But after 6 months, it got a different case, a negative case or a different type of data which was not handled in your program. For the first time in the 6 months, you have got a data. So your program did not behave properly. I mean, did not process it well, and it is rejected or it gave some issue or the program failed only. And that time you need to check with these tag numbers what latest change was done on this program, on which day, who did, on what he did. So with this tag number, you can find out in the whole program what he changed and all the lines that he has changed. From there, you can find out, okay, see, here only he has made the mistake. He forgot to make this check here, or he forgot to write this code here or he unnecessarily committed or something, you can easily find out. Okay, so these are very very important things. It looks very easy, like looks very simple, that oh not necessary these are, but actually very important. So program ID is mandatory, remaining four are not mandatory. Then environment division. Under environment division, you have two things. I think one is configuration section. Uh, configuration. And one is input output section. So under configuration section, we write the configuration of the IBM machines on which this compilation and execution is done. Source computer and object computer. So source computer generally means on which machine you have written the program. Object computer on which machine you are executing the program. Basically, these are same, only on same machine it is written. And here you will write the IBM models, like computer models. This again is not same in every project. You can just copy paste in your program. You don't need to change. Configuration section will always be the same in every project. Like not every project. In a project, in every program, you have to write the same computer models. Again, this is not mandatory. If you write wrong information also, there'll be nothing. Okay, but in real time, people generally write all the information. Then input output section will tell you if you have used any file in your GCL program. If you are using any file in your program, then the file has to be defined under input output section. That file has to be defined under input output section. Now, what is the meaning of definition? Defining. So, Cobol program cannot directly interact with a physical file. If there is a file, matsc.jahangir.ps, this ps file is present. So, Cobol program will not be able to interact with this file directly. Okay. So, this is a physical file which is present in your system. It has some data. Your program will never be able to directly interact with this file. Interact as in it cannot read the data of this file directly, or it cannot write data into it also directly. It needs a medium. What is the medium? It's a JCL. So via JCL, the communication has to be established. It has to receive the data from this file to this program via JCL, and also it has to send data from this program to this file via JCL, or to some other file via JCL. Now, when the file data comes and goes via JCL to a program or from a program, then the mapping also has to be done, right? Suppose there are two files, this is input and this is output. So these two files are there. Now, how will the data from this file, suppose this is the input file that I'm going to use as, this is the output file. How will the data from this file will go to this program, and how will the data from this program will come to this file? That mapping we have to do. So in JCL, execution JCL, we write like this, right? DD1, DDDSN equal to, then DD2, DDDSN equal to this equal to share, this equal to old. Okay, this is input, this is output. Now, what is the DD name of this input file? DD1. So via DD1, we have to do the communication. So we have to write select file 1 assigned to DD1. Then select file 2 assigned to DD2. Select file 1 assigned to DD1, select file 2 assigned to DD2. So what is file 1? File 1 and file 2 are the names of the files inside the Cobol program, not in the JCL. It is inside the program. So there is a file whose name is file 1, which is directly linked to DD1, which is DD1 matsc.jahangir.ps. Now, this file matsc.jahangir.ps via dd1 will be communicating to file 1. That means file 1, with the help of file 1, I can either receive data from this file or write data in this file. Similarly, with the help of file 2, I am doing the mapping of file 2 with dd2. With the help of file 2, I am either receiving data from this file or sending data. I'll be able to send data to this file. Now, here I know in the JCL I have written that, okay, this will be my input, this will be my output. This I have decided in my mind. This is my input file, this is my output file. But just by writing file 1, file 2 does not automatically mean that file 1 is your input file, file 2 is your output file, or file 2 is your input file, file 1 is your output file. It does not mean like that. What you have to do is you have to specifically mention in the program which is input, which is output. Then only the program will understand. Till now, the program does not know which is input, which is output. It just knows that the file, physical file whose DD name is DD1 will be called as file 1 in the program. The physical file whose name is DD name is DD2 in the JCL, sorry, JCL will be called as file 2 in the program. This is what it knows. This is called defining the files, or mapping the data between Cobol and JCL. Okay. Now data division. Again, environment division is not mandatory. If you are not using any file in your program, this is not done, not mandatory, and also configuration section not mandatory. Data division. Data division is used, as I said, for three purposes. One is when you are using any variable. Now, what is a variable? So variable is a medium through which data or value is passed from one part of the program to another part of the program. For example, there is a calculation, okay? There is a evaluation of an output field. Now the evaluation process is too complicated. It involves 4 or 5 rounds of complex calculations. After each round of calculation, the value has to be moved to the next part of the calculation. How will it be done? So it has to be moved via this variable. So first part of calculation is done. Whatever the output is, that output will be written into a variable. That variable will be used in the second round of calculation as input. Output will be generated. That output will be written into another variable. That variable will be taken to the third round of calculation as input. Like this, it will keep on happening. So a variable is a medium or a way of processing, or to, I mean, moving the data from one part of the program to another part of the program. Now the variables are generally defined like this. What is the meaning of this? This is a proper definition of a variable. Now whenever you define a variable under data division, it has to be always defined under working storage section. So we generally have, I think, 5 sections: working storage section, linkage section, then your file section, report section, screen section. Report section, screen section we generally don't use. Working storage section we use for defining the variables. Then linkage section we use. Linkage section means, as I said, linkage section is to link a program with another program, or to link a program with another JCL. Okay. Now, if a program is sending data to another program, so the program which is sending will be called main program. The program which is receiving will be called subprogram. So that subprogram has to receive the data from main program in linkage section. So linkage section is a place where the data from the main program will be received. Okay. So in linkage section also we can write this kind of variables. Just I'm writing. So in linkage section also variables are defined, but these are variables which will store the data coming from another program or coming from a JCL through PAM parameter. Third is file section. Now what is file section? So there is a file that you have defined here. There are two files that you have defined. Now these two files, data structure has to be defined under file division, file section. What is the data structure? What is data structure means? What is the length of this file? What is the data type of this file? These things. Now fd file 1, fd file 2, like this. So fd file 1 means file definition of file 1. What is the definition of file 1? So 01 in rec picture clause x of 80, then 01 out rec picture clause x of 80. So this is the definition of both the files. First file name is file1 in the program. Each record of the file name will be called as inreg in the program, and data type is x. X means alphanumeric. It can have both numeric, alphanumeric, special characters, and it is the length. That means in each line of the file, maximum 80 characters you can write. So this 80 should exactly match with the logical record length of this file in the JCL. So this physical file of should have the same length. If it is 100, here also you need to write 100. If it is 200, here 200. This length, if it does not match, your program will fail. Similarly, for output file name is a file2. Data type, each record of the file is called outrec, and its length is also 80, and data type is x, means alphanumeric. So there are three data types: A9, 9A, X. 9 means numeric. So its maximum length is 18 digits. This is alphabetic. Maximum is 32767. And this is alphanumeric. Maximum is 32767. Now, numeric means it can, if a variable is defined as suppose 9 of 10, 9 will mean numeric. It can only accept numeric values. If it is alphabetic A of 10, it will only accept A to Z. If it is X, it will accept everything. So generally we define these file names with X because the files can have any type of data, right? So these are the data types that we have. Now file name is file1. Each record name is inrec of the file. Data type is X, and length is 80. Here 01 is mentioned. Now what is 01? This is called level number. What is a level number? Level number means each and every variable, when you define, you have to write some numbers. What is, if it is a group, like parent level variable or a child level variable, okay, that to define that or to make the system understand, you have to write the level of it. So there are 01 to 99, total 99 level numbers we have. Now where will you use 01, where will you use 02, where will you use 03, where will you use 04, where will you use 99? How will you know that? So there is a way. So there is something called independent variable or standalone variable. Then there is group variable. Independent variable or standalone variable. Then there is group variable. Then there is some conditional variable. Then there is renames variable. Then linkage variables. So independent variable means this is an independent variable. WSA. It does not have any parent. It does not have any child. It is independent. Okay, WSA picture clause x of 10 is independent. It does not have any parent, does not have any child. It's standalone. So for this case, level number 77 can be used, or 01 also can be used. Here I have written 01. If you write 77 also, it will be fine. What is group level? When any variable has child variables under it. So under WSA, there are two different variables or three different variables. Okay. For them, the level numbers will be different. So it will be like 01 WS, suppose WS name, 05 WS first name, picture plus x of 5, of x of 10, 05 always last name pixel close except. So see, this is the group name 01 under which there are two sub-elementary. These are called sub-elementary or child variables. First name, second name, last name. First name is 10 characters, last name is 10 characters. Both are having same level number, but which is not 01. So these are child variables and this is the group variable. So in this kind of cases, group variable should always have 01. And in some old codes I have seen 77 also getting used for group variable. Some old codes. Nowadays I don't see, but 01 generally is used. But in some old programs I have seen, they used to use this 77 also. Then child variables. For child variables or the sub-elementary these are called, which has a parent, you can use anything between 02 to 99 except for 66 and 77. Sub-elementary variables or child variables. For this you can use anything between 02 to 99 except 66 and 77. So conditional variable is 88, renames is 66, linkage is 49. So now sub-elementary variable can have anything between 02 to 99 except 66 and 77. What is 66? It is for renames. 77 is for independent. Then can we write 88 and 49 in sub-elementary? Yes, 88 and 49 are also sub-elementary variables, but 88 is conditional variable and 49 is for linkage variable. So we'll get all these details in the next classes. So till now, you have understood that till this part, I mean, three sections are there. You have to write it this way. Now in procedure division, we have to write the business logic. Suppose I will display IBM mainframe. And finally, I will stop the program. So stop run will stop the execution of the program and send the control back to the operating system. So this is how a program is written. This is the basic structure.